Okay, so car project. Here we go. For my cars, I chose a Lexus ES, a Fiat 500, and a Dodge Charger because it's super slick. Let's see what I learned throughout this project. I have like my individual spreadsheets with all the individual information, and I learned that there's a lot that goes into buying a car. I mean, I always knew it wouldn't be super easy, but as you go through and you find out how much money you need to put into it and what goes into financing and what goes into fees, gas, so on and so forth, it's a lot of stuff that people don't consider until you actually sit down and realize, like, wow, it all adds up very quickly. So what surprised me the most, I actually used in my final charts here, was the bank financing. I think, as you can see it within here, do they have a highlighter on here? Oh, I don't know how to do it. I'll figure it out later. The bank financing, as I looked, there was a lot more that you had to pay the bank than I thought there was. So you can see with the car one, was one of like the cheaper ones that obviously wasn't as much, but it increased highly as you went up with interest rates and all that stuff. And then the same increase of total cost, which is obvious. I mean, I figure as you have higher interest rates or you put different like fuel costs and such into it, it's obviously going to increase. And then as you go down, you can see the same thing. Whoops, too far. You can see where it went for the second car again. Every single thing with bank financing and down just continued to increase. It went from like a $5,000 some dollars to like nearly $20,000. And then your bank financing for the third car, it was at first 4,000 something, I mean 2,000, then it goes up to over 10,000. So that got very high very quickly, which I definitely didn't foresee happening because I never really considered, when you buy a car, like you have to pay the bank like a certain amount of money as well when you do loans and all that stuff. So I knew that the cost itself would go up, and that's obvious. That wasn't really hard for me to understand, but the financing, as much as it increased, definitely threw me off of it. And it was pretty steady throughout the whole time. Generally on every single chart, once you get to about option 4, then it increased about the same area. So it was pretty consistent with like interest rates and stuff, but it just changed from each car. So that was really crazy. So what I'll remember most is, expect to pay a lot more than you think you're going to, but as long as you plan it out, it will work fine. So there's that.